big impact. So paint is one way that you can make things happen.
Yes.
But there are a whole bunch of unusual things you might not think of that will also help you get that big impact in a space.
That's right. And so many of us have a scenario like this in our homes where we might have our large piece of furniture, our sofa, and then this huge expanse of wall.
Right.
And it can be kind of daunting to find a piece to display there, because unless you have something that is at least 2/3 the size of that sofa, it's not going to balance the wall.
It's not going to be big enough, and huge pieces of art cost huge money.
That's right.
Often.
I mean, to me, there is no substitute for original art, but it is an investment. It is something you develop over time. But you can display smaller items using what we call the rule of thirds.
Okay.
And so stylists love this, because what you do essentially is you take the space you're working with, you divide it into 3 vertically and also 3 horizontally, and then what you can do, because this would be much too small to be right in the center, once you pull it over to the outer third, the idea is that it's got so much more tension, interest, and therefore impact.
And it's supposed to just be by itself over sort of askew on one side.
And what you're doing is you're using that negative space as part of your story.
Part of the drama.
So, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
but
that's
you know,
smart.
I love, before we talk about some of the really cool things, plants. This is one of the most inexpensive ways to add color and life to a space.
Absolutely. And vary your plants, have multiples of them, let them really take over that space and be intentional about it.
That's right, because you've got differing heights, so you can add that interest wherever you want.
Yeah.
And it just, I love that there's a real trend toward using plants as serious parts of your decor.
That's smart. Very nice. It's nice to have living pieces in your home, too.
Absolutely. The oxygen, it's so healthy. Skateboards.
I love this idea. So if you are someone that is into, you know, the skateboarding lifestyle, or you collect them, this is such a great way that you can make your lifestyle into art as well.
Absolutely. One of the first times my sons came home from our local skate shop, Hammer Skateboard, and they threw their boards up on our coat hooks, I realized what an incredible source of art this was.
Yeah, this looks great.
Like, the graphics are so dynamic. There's amazing artists creating these pieces.
Yeah, very nice.
And
I love that.
Personally, I love that sort of urban street vibe, and that's another way to inject life into a space.
So speaking of using unexpected things for art, take a look at this picture right now, and you look at it and you think to yourself, okay, there's multiple something on this. Multiple, what are those?
Okay, these are sneakers. And do you ever have those times in your life where your mind, you just feel your brain explode?
Oh, all the time, like once a day.
Well, my son took me to a store in Soho in New York City, and it sells sneakers and streetwear, and the architect had created this arched ceiling out of 1,000 white sneakers.
That's amazing.
And literally I could feel my mind kind of exploding with ideas of old and new and architecture and relevance, and you know, how we should be constantly pushing the envelope. And I've never really looked at art in the same way.
What's interesting about that as well is we all know the rule. If you want to buy something that may be more on the inexpensive side, buy a whole bunch of it.
That's right.
Because if you multiply it and put them together, the impact is going to be incredible.
That's right, because you're repeating that shape over and over again, and that creates a pattern, and the human brain loves pattern.
Right.
So
absolutely.
I mean, objects as art is not new. We've been displaying tapestries and textiles for centuries, but I love that modern spin on an age-old tradition. So if you took like a stunner, like this silk modern rug from Alexandrian carpet, and you displayed that behind here, swoon.
Beautiful.
Swoon. Yeah.
Speaking of multiples, you also have scarves over there, and also spray paint, I think.
Yes.
But the scarves are gorgeous. You would use those as art?
Scarves are incredible. The artistry, the color that go into these, and you know, if you can go to a vintage store, you can raid your mom's drawers. It's all in the way you display it. And if I was to be hanging this up here, I would sandwich it between 2 pieces of glass. I would leave a border around the whole thing to make it more important, bigger, and that would go center stage.
That's nice.
Like huge impact.
Really nice.
And stoneware.
Yeah,
you know how our grandmas used to put plates and china and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, this pan is from Little India, and it's called a tawa pan. And I just thought the scale of that and the cool metal, you know, that center stage would have huge impact. And I'm always looking for pieces that have textures that'll bring out other items in the room, like that with the distressed leather.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
Finally, you have multiple cans there as well.
You know what, if it were me, I'll put that whole wall, I'd cover it in spray paint. So as we said, it's creating that pattern, it's having fun.
Yeah.
You know, art doesn't have to be in a gallery, it's whatever you like.
I love that. Whatever you feel an emotional experience with, that becomes your art.
That's right, anything you look at makes you feel alive.
Yeah.
Fair game.
Good tips, Danielle.